Krim, who like takes 5 hours to build a deck and puts a lot of thought into it. So I'll see like a really well thought out deck, even though a lot of it's wrong most of the time. And then I also play against Drew a lot, who plays probably more standard stuff, like more consistent decks for the most part. So I really get a taste of it and everything, and I just go from there. Alright, so let's move on then. Okay, Lucas Gint brings up an interesting point that I actually forgot to bring up earlier when we were talking about Nationals coverage. He says to Justin, I know Puka said his interview answers on the Pokemon website were different than what he actually told them, and were your answers changed by Pokemon at all?
Yeah, apparently I lost to Minchino instead of Chinchino, which is kind of odd. Apparently I lost to the Miramax, which Frank Diaz was actually not playing anything near what I was playing with the Minchino type. So, yeah, and then you know they took my deck and they're like, hey, so what about Rescue Energy? But they made it a statement in the thing that like you run Rescue Energy, period, instead of being like, why do you run Rescue Energy? So it made me look kind of weird. But I mean, yeah, they changed some stuff around on the way that I answered it. Like, I guess you could say they kind of made me sound a little smarter, but maybe it could. Well, I guess you could say because I was so astonished the fact that I had even won Nationals. So I was probably talking to like a little baby. So I don't know. But yeah, I mean, yeah, they changed it around a little. Not too much though.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of one of the aspects of poor coverage they have. I mean, I remember when they interviewed me and they put my responses up, and it was almost like they just kind of asked me questions as a formality and then just posted what they wanted to post.
Yeah, well, the way they work it is like they have you answer a bunch of questions and then they pick and choose what questions you and what they put up and then in what order they put them up in. So like it takes stuff out of context sometimes.
Not even that. They would just completely make up things that never happened.
I don't know, like
be more like exciting when you answer.
Well, when I was answering my stuff for the booklet, they actually kept a lot of my answers intact. I mean, they may have nicened it up slightly, but I mean, it's been a while since I answered, so I don't actually remember word for word. But yeah, for the most part, I think it was there.
I feel like it's different for that because there's probably someone who actually proofreads that stuff since it's actually being published in a book. But like for an article for their website, they're literally just like trying to post it as fast as possible, and they don't even like care what they get up as long as they get something.
I can see that. That makes sense. I mean, like I don't agree with you, but I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel they probably have like something ready, like something already pre-written, and then they kind of like paste your answers in there, try to make it work.
It's like right when I put my Tyro to sleep, they're already like, one of these people wins a Tyro.
Alright. Let's see. We have some comments about Justin's pants being down
a little bit. Dude, I need to get pants that fit me, man.
You need a belt, man.
I had a belt on. It's like, I think it was the fact that I'm winning Nationals and the first thing I get is a wedgie, and I'm like, oh.
There was a full moon when you won, buddy. There was a full moon.
Yeah. So, just everybody who was watching me and talking to, I will have pants that fit me at Worlds. Just saying.
Good, you're shaking up.
I hope so, man. That's funny.
Alright, from Hampton Cave. When testing for premier events such as cities, states, etc., do you think it's better to test against the most prominent top tier decks or with what you have scouted to be played in your area? And then later you would change your deck as the size of the tournaments increase. So I think the question is more, do you pay more attention to what's being played in your area for smaller level events, or do you look at like what's more popular throughout the country?
I would say I would probably look, no matter what, more at what's being hyped instead of what's actually being played in my area. Mostly because, like, for some reason I noticed that, like, people don't actually play test, like, in public with what they're playing. For example, at Nationals, I would play in the lobby of the hotel, and I noticed, like, half the people that I saw playing were not playing what they were playing in Nationals. So it's like, you know, I just think people are. I don't think it's a good thing, because if you're afraid to show what you're playing, I can understand at a big tournament like Nationals and Worlds, you're not going to be like, hey guys, look at my deck. But you know, in general, like for tournaments like Cities and Battle Roads, like just I don't see a reason not to be playtesting with your deck in public. So I would just say, you know, I playtest more against what's being hyped and what I see in my area.
I just play for like Cities. I just play whatever I want, whatever I feel like playing, because I don't think they're that important. It's the beginning of the season. Like historically, I used to not play Cities at all. This is really the first season I played at all. And then like I played Gyarados this year. I don't think it's the best deck. I just wanted to play it. And then moving forward, I play test more and more and play what I think is the best deck. I think playing the best deck for the premier events is very important, whatever you feel most comfortable with.
I think it kind of depends on what your area is. I think paying attention, if you want to win like the smaller events, paying attention to what your area is playing is good, because that'll give you a feel. Like, you're not going to run something that loses to 50% of the field, even though it may be the best deck. It's just that your area is like perhaps stubborn, and then they won't conform to like the known metagame. So they're just playing whatever, but that whatever just happens to beat, like, say, Lux Champ 50% of the time. But yeah, overall, you should probably look over at what's best in the metagame. But you know, you can kind of like adjust that as need be.
Yeah, for me at least, I kind of take a look at what everybody in my area is playing. Like for the past season, I would say like 90% of my field was just SP. So I kind of knew what to expect and what decks I can and can't play. But at the same time, you don't just want to like try to counter your game. You want to play the decks that's just good in general. But I think like the best example of how much a metagame can impact you is like the Georgia Marathon this year. For those who went to it, like early on, it was like a bunch of Lux Champ SP stuff, and so then everybody adapted and everybody started playing Vilegar. And then when everybody started playing Vilegar and started winning, everybody switched to Dialga, and it was just like a constant like metagame switch. So you definitely have to pay attention to what other people are playing, but yeah, I guess you just have to keep a balance between like keeping other people in check and still playing something just solid enough to win in general. Alright. And we'll take one last question here. Let's see. Got a lot of questions here. Alright, so last one from Andrew Murray. Cool guy, we met him. He said he was the Nationals.
He's great.
And he says, how different do you think the grinder metagame will be from the Nationals metagames? Do you think people will be dropping more of their tech cards in favor of consistency, or will it be relatively similar? And will Yanmega still stay the MVP of the format?
Yanmega's still MVP. Grinder will be. I mean, you can't afford to lose a single round, so I think you've got to go like all in. And I wouldn't want to have like an obvious auto loss. Like for example, if I played in Nationals, I could afford to have an auto loss to say a certain lesser known deck, like say Vileplume or whatever. I'm not sure, but I don't really want an auto loss when I'm playing in the grinders, because if I play against that deck, I just don't want to. Very cool. Well, guess I'm doing coverage for the top cut then.
Yeah, kind of what Kern said. You just gotta you have